I never thought betrayal could come through a screen. You always imagine it happening in the dark, behind closed doors, with whispered voices and sneaky glances. But my girlfriend Emily found a new way to shatter my heart through Reddit. We'd been together for 3 years. I was 28, working as a freelance web developer, and she was a copywriter for a marketing firm. We met during college, built a life together, and moved into a small 2-bedroom apartment in Austin. She loved plants and coffee. I loved her laugh. It was the kind that made people around her smile. We weren't perfect, but we were solid, or so I thought. Our evenings were quiet. We'd sit on the couch after work, her scrolling endlessly through her phone while I typed away at code. Sometimes she'd show me memes, sometimes threads from Reddit. She was obsessed with that app, always talking about random strangers, stories like they were her best friends. I used to joke, "You talk more to Reddit than you do to me." She'd just roll her eyes and laugh. But over time, something changed. She started guarding her phone. She'd tilt the screen away when I walked by, laugh at messages she didn't show me, and sometimes stay up late in the bathroom, phone in hand, light leaking under the door. I tried not to be paranoid. I told myself it was nothing. Everyone scrolls Reddit at night, right? But when you love someone, you feel it when something's wrong. It all started on a Thursday night. I was finishing up a project when I noticed her laptop open on the kitchen counter. She had gone to bed early, claiming she was tired. But her laptop screen was still lit up. And on it, a Reddit message thread? Normally I would have just closed it. I'm not the jealous type, but something in my gut told me to look. The username she was chatting with was You Writer Guy 92. The messages were long, deep, and way too personal. Her. Sometimes I feel like I'm invisible at home. Him. You deserve to be seen, Emily. You have so much warmth that I wish I could feel in person. Her. If only you lived closer. I froze. My heart pounded so loud, I could hear it in my ears. My chest felt tight, and my hands trembled over the keyboard. There were hundreds of messages, confessions, late-night talks, even inside jokes about me. Her. He doesn't even notice when I change my hair. Him. Then he's a fool. I'd never overlook you like that. The words burned. I scrolled and scrolled, each message worse than the last. There were voice notes. She'd sent him selfies. Nothing explicit, but intimate. Soft smiles, messy hair, sleepy eyes. The kind of photos she used to send me. My throat went dry. I closed the laptop slowly and stared into the dark kitchen. It wasn't physical, but it was. It was emotional cheating, maybe even worse. She had built a secret world with a stranger, a world where I didn't exist. The next morning, I couldn't look at her the same. She smiled, kissed my cheek, asked if I wanted pancakes. I muttered something and went for a walk. My mind was chaos. I didn't know whether to confront her, scream, or just disappear. For 3 days, I stayed quiet. I watched her carefully. How she smiled at her phone, how she typed quickly, how her eyes lit up when a notification came in. It was him. I knew it was him. Saturday night, I finally snapped. She was sitting on the couch, laughing softly as she typed. I walked over, stood behind her, and said, "Who's Writer Guy, 92 inches?" Her entire body went rigid. She turned slowly, face pale. "What?" "Don't play dumb," I said, my voice low. "I saw the messages." She stared at me, eyes wide, like a kid caught stealing. "You went through my laptop." "That's all you have to say," I snapped. "You've been sending photos, flirting, telling some random Reddit guy you wish you could be with him." "What the hell, Emily?" Tears welled up in her eyes. "It wasn't like that," she said. "We were just talking. I was lonely, okay? You've been distant for months. You're always working, barely present." He listened. "Lonely," I laughed bitterly. "So your solution was to find emotional comfort in some stranger online." She stood up, crying now. "You don't understand! He made me feel seen again. He made me feel like I mattered." I shook my head. "You had me, Emily. You still do. But you chose to throw it away for internet validation." She didn't answer. She just sat down and covered her face with her hands. The silence between us was deafening. That night, I couldn't sleep. I kept hearing her voice in my head, reading those messages over and over. I wanted to forgive her, but something inside me cracked. Trust, once broken, doesn't mend overnight. The next morning, she left for work early. When I checked her phone later, I saw a notification from Reddit. "You have a new message from You Writer Guy 92. My blood boiled. I opened it. Him. "I miss your voice. Did he find out?" My hands shook. I typed back. "Me? Yeah, he found out." And then I hit send. I waited for a reply. A minute later, him. "Oh shit, Emily." Me. "No, this is her boyfriend." Then, silence. I stared at the screen for a long time before closing the app. I didn't reply again. I didn't need to. I just wanted him to know that I knew. That evening, Emily came home crying. "He blocked me," she said quietly. "I lost him." I looked at her. Broken, regretful, confused. Part of me wanted to comfort her. Another part of me wanted to pack my bags and leave. But I didn't do either. I just said, "Good." She looked at me, tears streaming down her face. "Do you hate me?" I took a deep breath. "I don't know yet." And that was the truth. That night, she slept on the couch. I lay in bed staring at the ceiling, thinking about how love can rot quietly, one notification at a time. I didn't know what the next day would bring, anger, forgiveness, or silence. But I knew one thing for sure: this wasn't over. Not yet, because love doesn't die that easily. But trust dies quietly, just like that Reddit chat. And as I closed my eyes, I realized something painful. Maybe I wasn't the only one living a lie. Maybe we both were. The silence after betrayal isn't peaceful. It's suffocating. Every sound in the apartment felt louder than usual. The hum of the fridge, the ticking of the wall clock, the creak of the floorboards when Emily walked by. We weren't talking. Not really. Just existing in the same space, like two ghosts haunting what used to be love. 3 days had passed since I confronted her. 3 days since I discovered her secret world on Reddit. And in those 3 days, I'd learned how lonely love can feel when trust is dead. Emily tried to act normal at first. She'd make coffee in the morning, offer me a cup, but I'd shake my head. She'd ask how my day was, and I'd mutter, "Fine." Everything she said sounded fake now. Even when she said my name, it felt like a lie. On the 4th day, she finally spoke. "I miss talking to you," she said quietly, her voice trembling as she stood by the kitchen counter. "I know I screwed up, Jake. I know what I did was wrong." I looked up from my laptop. "You didn't just screw up, Emily. You broke something we built for 3 years." She nodded, tears in her eyes. "I didn't mean to hurt you. I felt alone. You were always so busy, so distant." I shut my laptop and stared at her. "And instead of talking to me, you talked to some random guy online." She swallowed hard. "It wasn't random. I cut her off. Don't make it sound like something meaningful. He's just a username. You don't even know who he really is." Her voice cracked. "I know that. But it felt real. It felt like someone finally saw me again." That sentence hit me like a punch to the chest. Someone finally saw me again. Was I really that blind? Had I been so caught up in my work that I'd missed how disconnected she felt? I wanted to yell, to call her out, to throw every ounce of pain I felt back at her. But I didn't. I just sat there, silent. Because deep down, I knew there was truth in her words. I had been distant. I had taken her for granted. But none of that justified betrayal. That night, I left the apartment. I couldn't stay there anymore. The walls felt like they were closing in. I booked a cheap Airbnb downtown, packed a bag, and texted her one line before I left: "I need space." For the first time in 3 years, I slept alone. The bed was cold. The city outside was loud. Cars, sirens, distant music, but inside, everything was painfully quiet. I scrolled through my phone, through old photos of us, Emily laughing at the beach, Emily holding our dog, Emily in my hoodie on lazy Sunday mornings. Every picture was a memory that felt stolen now. Around 2 a.m., my phone buzzed. It was a message from her. "Emily, please come home. I can't sleep without you here." I stared at the screen for a long time before typing me. "You should have thought about that before." Then I put the phone face down and tried to sleep. The next morning, I went for a walk around the city. I stopped at a coffee shop, our favorite one, but I couldn't bring myself to go in. Every place reminded me of her. It's strange how betrayal changes your relationship with the world. The same streets that once felt like home now felt foreign, poisoned by memories. Later that day, I got another text. But this one wasn't from Emily. It was from an unknown number. Unknown. "Hey, is this Jake?" I frowned. "Who's this?" I replied. Unknown. "This is Mark. I think we need to talk." My heart stopped. Mark me. Mark who? Unknown. "I'm you writer guy, 92. For a second, I just stared at my phone, stunned. How did he even get my number? Me. "How the hell did you get my contact?" Mark, "Emily gave it to me months ago. Said I could text you if I ever needed to talk about something important. Guess now's that time." I could feel my pulse in my throat. I typed back furiously. Me. "You've got some nerve texting me after what you did." Mark. "Look, man, I didn't know she had a boyfriend at first. She told me you guys were basically done. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to mess up your relationship." Me. "Don't give me that crap. You knew what you were doing." Mark. "Maybe, but for what it's worth, she really did love you. She talked about you all the time. Said she missed the way you used to look at her. I think she just needed someone to fill the space you left." I threw my phone down on the table, shaking with anger. How dare he try to sound sympathetic, like he was some noble guy who just happened to fall into someone else's relationship. But the worst part. Deep down, a small part of me believed him. That night, I drove back to the apartment. Emily was sitting on the couch, still in her work clothes, staring blankly at the TV. When she saw me, her eyes widened. "Jake," she whispered. "You came back." I didn't say anything. I just sat across from her. Mark texted me. I said flatly. Her face went pale. What? He said you gave him my number. Months ago." She shook her head quickly. "I didn't mean for him to actually use it. It was... God, Jake, it was before all this. I swear." I leaned back, exhaling slowly. Why would you give another man my number?" Her voice broke. "Because I wanted you to talk. I wanted you to know how bad things were. I thought maybe if he told you, you'd listen." I couldn't believe what I was hearing. "You wanted your Reddit boyfriend to fix your real one." Tears spilled down her cheeks. "I was desperate, Jake. I didn't know how to reach you anymore." For the first time, I saw the depth of her pain. She wasn't just guilty. She was broken. But so was I. We sat there in silence for a long time, the air thick with everything we couldn't say. Then she whispered, "Can we fix this?" I looked at her. Really looked at her. The woman I loved. The woman who betrayed me. "I don't know," I said softly, "but I'm willing to try. Just once. If you delete Reddit." "For good," she nodded, crying harder now. "I'll do anything." She picked up her phone right there and deleted the app, deleted her account, everything. For the first time in weeks, I believed her. But even as I watched her cry and swear she'd change, something inside me whispered that it wasn't over. That some wounds run deeper than love can heal. As I lay beside her that night, listening to her breathe, I couldn't shake one thought. Sometimes the hardest part of forgiveness isn't saying, "I forgive you." They say forgiveness is the first step toward healing. But nobody tells you how heavy it feels to live with the memory of betrayal. You can forgive someone, sure, but forgetting, that's a whole different beast. A week had passed since Emily deleted Reddit. She was trying hard, making breakfast every morning, planning date nights, sending texts, just to say she loved me. She was doing everything right, everything she should have done before she decided to find comfort online. And me, I was trying too. I wanted to believe her. I wanted to believe that what we had, could survive what she did. But every time her phone buzzed, every time she smiled at a notification, I froze. My chest tightened, my mind went places it shouldn't. It's like once you've seen the monster hiding behind the curtain, you can't pretend it's not there anymore. One night, we were lying in bed, her head on my chest, the room dim except for the faint glow of the city outside. She whispered, "I'm really trying, Jake. I promise." I didn't answer right away. My fingers traced circles on her shoulder, but my mind was somewhere else. Back in that moment, I found the messages, the usernames, the words that shattered everything. "I know you're trying," I finally said. I don't know how to stop seeing it." She lifted her head, eyes soft. "Then let me help you see something else. Let me earn it back." She kissed me then, slow and gentle, like she was trying to rewrite history with her lips. For a second, I almost believed her that maybe we could find our way back. But the thing about broken glass, you can glue it together all you want, it'll still have cracks. Days turned into weeks. We laughed again, went to dinners, even took a short trip out of town. But under the surface, there was tension. Small, invisible, always there. One morning, I noticed she was on her phone early, typing fast. When she saw me watching, she quickly locked the screen and smiled. "Just work stuff," she said. "Work stuff at 6:30 a.m., I asked, trying to sound casual. She hesitated. "Yeah, my manager needed an update." That was the first time since she deleted Reddit that I felt that familiar cold crawl up my spine. The same one that whispered, "Something's off." I brushed it off, but it lingered all day. That evening, while she showered, I sat on the edge of the bed staring at her phone. I didn't want to look. God, I didn't. But curiosity mixed with fear is a dangerous combination. It eats at you until you give in. I unlocked it. No Reddit, no dating apps. Nothing suspicious on the surface, but there was a new messaging app I didn't recognize. Some small, minimal icon buried among the folders. When I opened it, there it was. A thread titled Backup Space. It was all there again. Not as explicit as before, but emotional. Deep. Personal. "Emily, it feels different talking to you here. Safe. Unknown. I told you, no judgment here. You deserve to be heard. Emily, Jake says he forgives me, but sometimes I think he's just waiting to leave. Unknown. Then maybe you should protect your heart this time." My heart dropped. I put the phone down, shaking. It wasn't Reddit this time, but it was the same addiction. Validation, comfort, escape. She just moved it somewhere else. When she came out of the shower, towel around her, smiling like everything was fine, I couldn't even look at her. "What's wrong?" she asked, noticing my face. I stood up slowly, phone in my hand. "What's backup space?" Her eyes widened, and that was all the answer I needed. "Jake, it's not what you think," she said quickly, stepping closer. "It's just a support chat." I needed to talk to someone. "You mean another stranger?" I snapped. "Another guy who listens while you talk about how hard your life is." She flinched, tears welling up. "I swear there's nothing romantic about it." "Then why hide it?" I shouted. "Why lie again after everything?" She was crying now, hands trembling. "Because you don't talk to me anymore. You say you're trying, but I can feel the wall between us. I needed someone to listen." Her voice cracked, raw and desperate. I wanted to scream, to break something, but instead I just sank into the chair behind me, staring at the floor. "You had someone," I said quietly. "You had me. But you keep choosing everyone else." She dropped to her knees beside me, gripping my hand. "Please, Jake, don't give up on me." "I'll delete it, I swear." I looked at her, really looked, and for the first time, I didn't see the woman I fell in love with. I saw someone who didn't even know who she was anymore. "Emily," I whispered, "you're not addicted to people. You're addicted to being needed." She froze, tears running freely now. Maybe you're right." I stood up, gently pulling my hand from hers. "And I can't save you from that. Not anymore." That night, I left again, but this time I didn't go to an Airbnb. I drove to my brother's place 2 hours away and stayed there. Days turned into silence. No texts, no calls, just space. And in that silence, something inside me finally clicked. I'd been trying to fix her, trying to fix us, when the truth was simpler. You can't rebuild something with someone who keeps lighting fires behind your back. By the end of the week, I sent her one final text. I hope you find what you're looking for, but it's not me anymore. I hit send, blocked her number, and exhaled. It didn't feel like revenge. It didn't even feel like victory. It felt like peace, raw, quiet peace. And for the first time in months, I slept without nightmares. The silence after a storm is strange. It's not peaceful at first. It's deafening. When you've spent months living in chaos, the quiet feels wrong, like something's missing. That's what it was like for me after leaving Emily. At first, I thought I'd made a mistake. The apartment felt too big, too empty. The smell of her perfume still clung to the pillows. Her laugh echoed in my head whenever I walked past the couch. Every memory turned into a ghost, and they all wanted to haunt me. The first few mornings were the hardest. I'd wake up and reach for my phone, half expecting her good morning text, even though I was the one who cut contact. It's weird how our brains cling to patterns, even the ones that hurt us. My brother Matt didn't push. He gave me space. He just handed me a mug of coffee every morning and said, "One sip at a time, man." It was his quiet way of saying, "You'll get there." After a week, I went back to work. Everyone at the office pretended not to notice how drained I looked, how distracted I was. I buried myself in projects, trying to fill every hour so I wouldn't have to think. But the mind always finds cracks in the armor. One afternoon, I caught myself scrolling through Reddit. Not Emily's old posts, just random threads. But every username, every comment that sounded vaguely familiar made my heart race. I realized I wasn't there for entertainment. I was searching. For closure, maybe. For proof that she'd moved on. That night, I deleted my own Reddit account. I sat on the balcony with a beer in my hand, city lights stretching across the horizon, and finally whispered, "I'm done living in her world." That was the first real step forward. I started running again. At first, it was just around the block. Then a mile. Then 3. The rhythm of my footsteps became therapy. A reminder that I was still here, still moving, still capable of something steady. Sometimes, during those runs, I'd think about Emily. Not with anger, but with a kind of distant sadness. I didn't hate her anymore. I pitied her. Because she never really knew what love meant. 2 months later, I met someone new. Not through apps or friends, but in the simplest way possible. Her name was Laura. She worked at the coffee shop near my office. The first time we talked, I was just grabbing a black coffee to go. She smiled, asked about my day, and made a dumb joke about people who don't add sugar being emotionally unavailable. I laughed, a real laugh, the kind I hadn't felt in months. Over the next few weeks, I found excuses to stop by more often, sometimes for coffee, sometimes just to talk. There was no flirting at first, just two people connecting over small things: weather, music, life. One rainy morning, I was sitting there working on my laptop when she slid me a cup with "On the House" written on the sleeve. She grinned and said, "You look like someone who's been through hell but still tips well." I smiled back. "You have no idea." We started seeing each other outside the cafe, hikes, weekend lunches, late-night drives. It wasn't love right away. It was easy, slow, natural. No games. No secrecy, just two broken people, figuring out how to exist without pretending. And that's when I realized something important. Healing doesn't always come as some grand moment of realization. Sometimes it's just small things. A kind word, a steady heartbeat, someone who listens without trying to fix you. One evening after dinner, Laura and I were walking by the river. She asked me why I always seemed to stare off at the water. I told her, because it reminds me of who I used to be. Calm on the surface, drowning underneath. She slipped her hand into mine and said, "Then maybe it's time to swim again." I didn't answer, but my heart did. It beat louder than it had in a long time. That night, lying in bed, I finally allowed myself to let go of Emily completely. I didn't need an apology. I didn't need closure. I didn't need her to know how much she'd hurt me. Because the truth was, I'd already won. I'd taken back control of my life, my peace, my self-worth, my ability to trust again. The next morning, I woke up early and went for a run. The air was cold, the sky barely lit. For the first time in months, I wasn't running away from something. I was running towards something new. When I got back, I sat on the porch with my coffee, took a deep breath, and smiled. It hit me all at once. I wasn't broken anymore, just rebuilt, stronger. And for the first time, I didn't miss the past. I was excited for what came next. 6 months. That's how long it had been since I walked away from Emily and everything that broke me. In those months, I'd changed in ways I didn't think were possible. The man who used to wake up with his heart pounding, wondering who she was talking to, now woke up with peace in his chest. I had a new routine, new goals, even a new smile that wasn't faked for survival. Laura was part of that healing, not as a replacement, but as a reminder that love doesn't have to hurt to be real. She was honest, open, and steady. We'd built something quiet and genuine, the kind of thing I once thought I'd never trust again. But healing isn't a straight line. Some ghosts still knock when the night gets too quiet. It was a Thursday afternoon when I got an email from Emily. Just seeing her name in my inbox froze me. I hadn't heard from her since the day I blocked her number. The subject line was simple, "Please." I almost deleted it. My hand hovered over the trash icon for a full minute. But some part of me, the part that still remembered her laugh, her face in the morning light, wanted to know what she had to say. The message was short. "Jake, I know I'm the last person you want to hear from. I don't want to justify anything. I'd like to see you. One last time, please." I read it 3 times before closing my laptop. My chest tightened, not with anger, but with something else. Closure, maybe? That night, I told Laura. She didn't flinch. She just asked, "Do you need to?" "I think so," I said quietly. "Not for her, for me." Laura nodded. "Then do it. Just remember who you are now." The next day, I met Emily at a small diner on the east side, neutral ground. When I walked in, I almost didn't recognize her. She looked thinner, tired, like someone who'd been living under constant rain. She smiled weakly when she saw me. "Hey?" "Hey," I said, sliding into the booth across from her. For a few seconds, it was silent except for the clinking of silverware around us. Then she exhaled and said, "You look good." "Thanks." "You too," I said, though it wasn't really true. She laughed softly, eyes lowering. "You don't have to lie. I haven't been good. Not since you left." I didn't say anything. She stared at her coffee cup, fingers trembling. "I ruined everything, didn't I?" "Yeah," I said honestly. "You did." She nodded, eyes wet. I keep replaying it all in my head. What I did, how I justified it. I told myself I was lonely, that you were distant, that it wasn't real cheating, because it wasn't physical. But it was. It was worse. I tore you down for attention from strangers. Her voice cracked. And you still tried to love me after that. I didn't deserve it. I swallowed hard. There was a time I'd have given anything to hear her admit that. But now, it didn't hit the way I thought it would. It didn't feel satisfying. It just felt finished. "I forgave you a while ago," I said quietly. "Not for you, for me." Carrying hate was just another way of staying tied to you. She looked up, surprised. "You forgave me." "Yeah. But forgiveness doesn't mean we go back." Tears streamed down her face. "I know. I just needed to tell you I'm sorry. Really sorry." I'm in therapy now, trying to figure out why I did what I did. I wanted you to know that you weren't the reason. I nodded slowly. I hope you find peace, Emily. You deserve that much. She smiled faintly through tears. And you found someone, didn't you? I hesitated. Yeah, I did. Her lips trembled, but she smiled again. Good. You always loved deeper than I could handle. I'm glad someone finally deserves it. We sat there in silence for a while. Two people who once loved each other deeply, now just ghosts of who they were. When we finally stood, she reached out, touching my arm gently. Thank you for meeting me. I gave a small nod. Goodbye, Emily. Outside, the air was cool, crisp, the kind of day that used to remind me of her. But as I walked toward my car, I realized something had shifted. That chapter wasn't just over. It was complete. When I got home, Laura was waiting, reading on the couch. She looked up and smiled softly. How was it? Necessary, I said, sitting beside her. She put her hand on my knee. And now, I said, leaning back, I think I can finally stop looking backward. She smiled, and for the first time in a long time, I truly felt free. That night, I lay in bed listening to the quiet. No ghosts, no regrets, no what-ifs. Just peace. And as I drifted off to sleep, I realized the greatest revenge wasn't destruction. It was becoming someone better after the storm.